Hi, so in this lesson today we are going to learn how to solve algebraic identities, find A, B and C by the comparing method. Let's start with a very easy question. We have been given 2x plus 1 is equal to A plus B bracket x minus 3. For which value of x will this become 0? You have been explained in two ways. One, you can write this at the side x minus 3 is equal to 0, therefore x is equal to 3. Or if you have a negative 3, you are going to use positive 3. So let x equal 3. Wherever there is x, we will substitute 3. 2 to the bracket of 3 plus 1. This is equal to a, and we won't be using b because 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 multiplied by anything, 0. Therefore, b is cancelled. 7 is equal to a. Now to find b, we are going to use comparing the coefficient method. If we expand this bracket, what shall we get? B multiplied by x is bx. So we will compare the coefficient of x. What does coefficient mean? The number before something. We want to look at the coefficient of x. What is before x here? 2. So we will write 2 is equal to, we cannot use a because there is no x here. But again, like I said, if we expand this bracket, you will have b multiplied by x, bx. So what is the coefficient of x? B. And that is your answer. 2 is equal to b. So now we move forward to a little bit more complicated question. In this question, we have x squared plus x plus 12 is identical to a bracket x plus 1 square plus b x plus 1 x plus 5 plus c x plus 5. How can we find the value of x? If you write x plus 1 is equal to 0, you will get x is equal to negative 1. So that is one value of x. The other, this is positive 5, so we will have a negative 5. So let's start with this. And there's no other number there, so we cannot take any more numbers. We got only two numbers. Let x equal negative 1. In place of x, we will substitute negative 1. We cannot use this because negative 1 plus 1 is 0. 0 multiplied by a is 0, so a is cancelled. You also have a 1 here. Negative 1 plus 1 is 0, so b is cancelled. What are we left with? C. So in place of x, we are going to replace negative 1. That will give us c negative 1 plus 5. Put this in the bracket. Remember to put it in, put it in a calculator and remember to put it in a bracket. You will get 12 is equal to 4c. This is a multiply. When you bring to the other side, it will be a divide. So 12 divided by 4 is c. That is 3 is equal to c. Now for the next step, we are going to use x is equal to negative 5. So write down let x equal to negative 5. In place of x, substitute negative 5. And here we'll substitute negative 5. So a bracket negative 5 plus 1 square. We cannot use b because you have a 5 there. So negative 5 plus 5, 0. b will get cancelled. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. So c will also get cancelled. Put this in the calculator and you will get 32 is equal to, and this in the calculator, 16a. 32 divided by 16 is our a. 2 is equal to a. What is left? We found c and we found a. C and a is found, b is remaining. What is the highest power of x? We can see that it is x squared. If you expand this bracket, you are going to get x squared. So we are going to compare coefficient of x squared. When we are comparing coefficient of x squared, let's see what is before x squared here. There's no number. That means there is a 1 there. And where else can we find x squared? This is x plus 1 square. It means x plus 1 times x plus 1. So x times x will give us x square, and there's an a out. So you have ax square. So the coefficient of x square here is a. Let's check out the b. Again, you have an x and an x. If you multiply it, you're going to get x squared. And we have a b before. So the coefficient of x squared is b. Let's check out c also. C multiplied by x is cx, not x squared. That is the reason we do not use c. We already have found our a. A is 2. So replace your a with 2. This 2, when we move to the other side, it will be a negative. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 is equal to b. I hope you have understood this method. This is a little bit more challenging than the other questions that we have done. First, let's find the numbers that we can use. So we have 2x plus 1. We can write it on the side. 2x plus 1 is equal to 0. Therefore, 2x is equal to negative 1. X is equal to negative 1 divided by 2. So the first value of x we will use is, let x equal negative half. The other we have is x minus 3. So we can use x is equal to 3. So wherever there is x, we'll substitute negative half. We'll substitute negative half in this equation. Remember to put the brackets properly. We cannot substitute negative half here because if we substitute, we'll get 0. Therefore, a is cancelled. The same case with b, we cannot because you have 2x plus 1 here. So if you substitute here, you will get a 0. b is cancelled. That leaves us with c. Put the whole thing in the calculator. You will get 21 is equal to negative 7 over 2c. You have to make c the subject. For doing that, if this is a divide, when you bring to the other side, the denominator goes up and the numerator comes down. So 21 multiplied by negative 2 over 7 is our c. Put this in the calculator and you will get negative 6 is equal to c. The next value we will use is when x is equal to 3. If you substitute 3 in this equation, you will get, replace it first properly, then we'll put it in the calculator, and we can substitute x is equal to 3 in this equation. We cannot substitute here because x minus 3 we have. So if you replace x with 3, 3 minus 3 is going to be 0, and your b will get cancelled. Same case with c. 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 multiplied by c, 0. So your c is cancelled. That's the reason we can only use a. Now put this in the calculator and you will get 196, and this will give you 49. This is a multiply again. When you move to the other side, it will be a divide. Therefore, 196 divided by 49 will give you 4. A is 4. We have found A and C, and we need to find B. We have already used the numbers. So in this case, we can compare coefficient. What is the highest power? X squared. So let's compare the coefficient of x squared. This is a little bit more complicated than what we did. You see there's a bracket here. If you expand this bracket, you will get 4 multiplied by 5, 20. So what is the coefficient of x squared? 20. And in this case, you have 2x plus 1 multiplied by 2x plus 1. So you have 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. 2x multiplied by 2x will give you 4x squared. And there is an a outside. So what is the coefficient of x squared? 4a. And then let's check for b. You have 2x multiplied by x, that will give you 2x squared. And there's a b outside. So what is the coefficient of x squared? 2b. We already have found our a, so replace it. 4 multiplied by 4 plus 2b. 4 multiplied by 4 is 16. When you move it to the other side, it will be negative 16. Now divide the 4 by 2, and our answer is 2 is equal to b. This brings us to the end of this tutorial. I hope I've been able to help you. Kindly subscribe to my channel, like the video, post a comment, and share it with your friends.